I think the main challenge fundamentally has been it's a voluntary programme, and the local authority were deemed as the body that would identify families, and that hasn't been easy in terms of the actual identification of volunteers that want to come onto the programme. This was obviously something that happened from day one. We've moved further along in the programme since then. What we've had, we've been back to the department, we've been to the local authorities and asked what would assist them in helping them identify some families for the programme. What was brought in first was what's known as the Provision Awareness Scheme. Now, the Provision Awareness Scheme allowed providers who were already out there in the community, who were dealing with social landlords, dealing with other organisations, whether it be work programme organisations, to identify people that maybe weren't under the radar of the local authority at that point, and to bring them to the radar of the local authority to say, this is the family, for example, the Smiths, and they have the following problems. And would you agree that these are the problems, and would you allow us to work with that family as a whole? So that was the first protocol. That allowed us some scope for more families. Then we've now moved on to what's known as the secondary referral route. The secondary referral route basic principle is around making sure that providers have a distinct what we classify as set of parameters that the family must meet to come onto the programme. So not only would we say that a family has to be more than one person, but that a family has to have a history of worklessness, a family must have one of the criteria, whether it be health and well-being problem or a housing issue or a stability issue, and the provider themselves can justify in some way that why that family needs, and that obviously the individual themselves I need the support for these reasons. So we've moved on to having to do that purely on the basis of the numbers. A lot of families, it's a voluntary programme, and people that we can't work with are people who are already engaged on the DWP programme directly. So if somebody's on the work programme or on a work choice, whilst we can deal with their family members, we can't actually deal with them as the individual. So what we found is that our scope of accessing the families was very narrow, given the fact that local authorities were going through a transition at the time the contract come out. So having a pool of families to pick and choose from what wasn't and has never been at that stage. So a lot of work has been done in conjunction with the local authorities, mind you, because what we've not wanted to do is take away that the main point of referral still comes from the local authority. It's their programme in some ways in terms of identifying the family. And then also not making sure that we get families into the programme and not doing things that other bodies have already done with them in the past, because that will just turn families away, and families who will, I'm going through this, I've had this in the past and I've had help here. We're not looking to duplicate anything. That was one of the main fundamental reasons for the programme. Non-duplication, it's adding value to, if they've had any information, advice, guidance in the past, or they've had touches with other organisations, adding to that, or trying to find also the families that actually haven't had access to them. And the variety between the different local authorities, what we found is that some local authorities send a particular type of family, and another local authority, neighbouring local authority, it's a different set of circumstances. So we've had to broaden the scope of the local authorities. There's no one best fits all size for local authorities. I can't pick a local authority and say it's great, it's worked here, because local authority next to it might have a different type of family, and individuals might want to, and not the whole family unit comes on. So we've had to be very flexible and encompassing and make sure that our partners have been the same, and the local authority, that this is the platform that we've had to work from.